ever since the season tipped off, you have been a one-person wrecking ball, wrecking havoc on the floor, wrecking havoc after the game, approaching officials, eye-raking Jessica Shepard. Another week, another day of dirtbag Dijonai Carrington.
Dijonai Carrington stormed over to Sabally after the game squared off like it was UFC instead of tip-off, and the WNBA said nothing, this wasn't just a heated moment. It was a full-on confrontation that everyone holding their breath to cameras caught everything, and fans online are demanding accountability before things spiral further and damage the league's growing reputation beyond repair.
It's disgusting what's going on with her. You guys need to put a stop to this because it is going too far. She was out there hacking again versus Phoenix today. And not only was she out there hacking and doing all of that stuff, let's look at her trying to interrupt the Phoenix Mercury's huddle and start a fight with Satou Sabally and Mercury players.
You might be thinking, how did things get so out of hand so fast? What really happened between Carrington and Sabally that set off this chaos? Let's break down the post-game scene and see just how explosive it really got.
The crowd angle right here, I wanted y'all to see this. This is how it actually started. She started walking over there, right? And here comes Satou over here. Look, she's right here. And she's just jawing off. I don't know what Dijonai is saying right here, but they're having a little standoff here. They're having to get between each other.
The end of the game was anything but routine while some players exchanged tired fist bumps and tried to shake off the lost Dijonai. Carrington stood out. She looked furious, her glare fixed on Satou Sabally, who was laughing with her own teammates. The contrast couldn't be sharper. Sabally relaxed and celebrating Carrington, barely containing her frustration. In a flash, Carrington made her move. She marched straight toward the Mercury's huddle, and you even spot her thigh-tattooed dirtbag as she closes the gap, showing zero restraint.
There's some serious drama going down here after this ball game ended.
Well, I'm surprised security is not out there a little bit more.
No kidding.
Between the players, they're letting them talk and just walk them off.
Carrington didn't come over for sportsmanship. She squared up to Sabally, making it clear this was personal. Her shoulders were set, her gestures sharp, and her voice cut through the post-game noise. The body language said it all. She was ready for a confrontation. Not a handshake. Sabally at first looked confused, almost amused, but her expression changed fast. When Carrington got close, Sabally stepped back, and for a second it looked like things might explode.
There's some serious drama going down here after this ball game ended.
Well, I'm surprised security...
Now you see her go approach her? You see her go approach her? You see her go approach her from behind? And that look, her teammates are having to pull her back and all of that. Bruh, you lost. Y'all got smacked. Y'all have won one game. Take your sorry asses to the locker room. Take your sorry asses to the locker room. Y'all won one game all year. Shout out to Paige. You had a hell of a performance today. Y'all stink. Don't interrupt the other team huddle.
That's when chaos really took over. Teammates and officials rushed between them, trying to keep things from boiling over. Some players pulled Carrington back, but she broke loose for a moment, leaning in and making it look like she might shove Sabally. Or worse, the whole scene was tense. Even the broadcast announcers were alarmed, calling for security and saying, at this point, bro, something has to be done. You can see in the footage, everybody was on edge, expecting a fight to break out at any second.
I don't know exactly what was said, but they were trying to make sure that they didn't get close to each other. Because I don't know, maybe some hands would have been thrown or something. I don't know, man.
And look, Paige Beckers has just put on a show. 35 points on 13 of 19, shooting 5 for 7 from 3, plus 6 rebounds and 4 assists. But none of that mattered now. The spotlight shifted from Beckers' incredible performance to Carrington's outburst. Some fans believe Carrington's frustration was fueled by being overshadowed by Beckers' breakout game. But the real story is more complicated. This wasn't just about losing. The way Carrington targeted Sabally, closing in with that kind of aggression, suggested something deeper.
Dijonai Carrington said, oh, what? Paige Beckers is going to get all this shine after her amazing game? Paige Beckers is going to get all this publicity after this amazing game? How do I take the spotlight off my teammate, act like a child, and have everybody's eyes on me? Oh, I know what I'm going to do. I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to approach Satou Sabally.
There's another layer here. This isn't the first time Carrington and Sabally have clashed on the court. Their rivalry goes back at least a season. And Sabally seems to end up in Carrington's crosshairs more often than anyone else. The pattern is hard to ignore. Carrington's confrontations aren't random. They look calculated, almost as if she's picking her moments and her targets.
And announcers, you can hear them like they started talking about, oh man, we should get the cops out there, get some security out there. So yeah, it was getting rowdy.
And it's not just Sabally. Carrington has a reputation for getting into it with other players too, jawing at opponents, pushing the limits, forcing officials and teammates to intervene. Commentators have started to notice, calling her action spooky and questioning why the league hasn't stepped in. When you see how quickly things escalated this time, it's impossible not to wonder if this is becoming a dangerous habit.
Dallas Wings actually put the worst person possible around a rookie when it comes to the WNBA. The Dallas Wings put the worst person possible around a rookie when it comes to the WNBA. The worst possible role model you can have is dirtbag Dijonai Carrington.
The league might hope this blows over, but fans and players are starting to see a pattern that can't be ignored. You see Dijonai Carrington's heated exchange with Satou Sabally wasn't some out of the blue meltdown. It's part of a bigger story, a history of aggressive moments that have followed Carrington throughout her career. She's not just known for her athleticism or her highlight plays. She's known for confrontations. And Sabally is at the center of more than one of them.
If there's a screw loose, I don't know if we just lack emotional control. I don't know if we just lack self-control, self-awareness. I'm not sure what the issue is with Dijonai, but she just can't seem to contain herself every single time we see her on the basketball court.
Take their dust up in 2023. That wasn't just a typical on-court spat. Carrington and Sabally went at it so hard, Carrington ended up with a $200 fine. But the tension didn't stop there. If anything, it laid the groundwork for everything we're seeing now. This isn't just about competitive fire anymore. It's a pattern that keeps repeating, especially when you remember Carrington poked Caitlin Clark in the eye last season.
Clark in pain after she caught that fingertip in the eye or right around it from Carrington with no whistle.
But Carrington's history isn't limited to Sabally and Clark. She's built a reputation for targeting certain types of players. And it's not a flattering one. Younger players, those new to the league, or anyone who doesn't push back as hard, these are the ones who seem to end up on the receiving end of her aggression. It's become a talking point among fans and commentators.
We all know Satou kind of soft. It is what it is. Like Satou ain't with all that. She know who to pick and choose to play these games with. She wouldn't have, you see Alyssa Thomas was stopping it. She wouldn't have did what that wolfing she was doing with Satou. She would never do that with Alyssa Thomas, who was there.
One of the most viral moments came from a hair-pulling incident during a game. The hair-pulling clip went viral in slow-mo, dubbed follicle warfare, raising real safety question.
Whoa! If she would have had extensions, it would have come off.
The footage made the rounds on social media, and people weren't just laughing. Some were genuinely concerned. What happens if someone gets hurt? Where's the line between playing tough and risking someone's health? It's not just about isolated physical incidents. Either Carrington's style has been called strategic violence. She seems to avoid confrontations with the league's most established veterans, the players with the biggest reputations and the most respect. Instead, she focuses on those who are less likely to fight back. It's a calculated approach that doesn't go unnoticed. You start to wonder, is she trying to send a message, or is she covering up her own insecurities by intimidating others?
Dijonai Carrington, she just can't let it slide. Look at number 21 over there, and look at all of her teammates having to play defense. This is so embarrassing. You can't control yourself. How old are you, Dijonai? How old are you?
Think about what that means for new players coming into the league. Rookies are already under pressure, trying to prove themselves and find their place. Now imagine having to deal with someone like Carrington, who might single you out because you're not established yet. It doesn't just affect the players she targets. It changes the whole atmosphere of the league. Aggression like this becomes part of the culture. And soon everyone knows who to watch out for. That's not just bad for individual players. It's bad for the league's image and growth. And here's the thing, these incidents keep happening without any real consequences. Fines, like the one Carrington got her barely a slap on the wrist. The league's lack of strong disciplinary action raises a lot of questions. Is the WNBA sending the message that this behavior is okay as long as it gets attention? Or is there just no real leadership stepping up to set a standard as more people start to question what's really being allowed? On the court, the spotlight turns to the league's response or the lack of it. You guys need to put a stop to this. Y'all need to put a stop. Tighten. Now the WNBA's silence on Dijonai Carrington's actions is raising tough questions about its leadership. The criticism isn't just coming from fans. It's coming from commentators, players, and even sponsors who expect more from professional league commissioner Kathy Angelbert is under fire, with commentators going so far as to compare her to a substitute teacher in a Faro middle school classroom. That's not just a throwaway insult. It's a real signal that people see a lack of control and a failure to set clear standards for what's acceptable on the court. Or out of here, man, get.
You guys need to put a stop to this. Y'all need to put a stop.
When the league lets repeated aggressive behavior slide, it isn't just about one player or one incident. It's about the message that gets sent to everyone watching. The WNBA talks about respect, fair play, and safety, but when the product on the floor is full of unchecked drama and confrontation, those words start to feel hollow. Young players look up to this league. Fans invest their time and money. If the league doesn't enforce real consequences, it risks normalizing this kind of aggression and making it part of the culture.